What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the fear of success. And I know that sounds crazy. I know you're probably thinking, who in the world is afraid of making it big? And the answer to that is a lot of people. And you might find out that you also might have a little fear of success once I outline exactly what that is. But before we get into the video, if you haven't seen the first video in this series, I highly recommend you stop. Go check that video out and look at that before you look at anything else, because it's important that you understand the proper mindset to have when it comes to money in order to have it and be successful. So with that said, let's get into this video and the fear of success. So what is the fear of success? The fear of success usually appears when someone is on the precipice of doing just one or two little actions, and boom, they'll have everything that they wanted. Like some small little action will put them right over the hill and have that snowball effect rolling down almost a 90-degree hill, and they have everything they want. They generally choke. Okay, it's when you get to that point and then you choke, you start coming up with all these irrational reasons of why you can't just take the baby step forward. And so I wrote down 3 things that generally show up when you have fear of success. And I also have an example for you with someone I know. So the first thing that shows up is guilt. You know, and before I even really get into these, one way to see if you have this issue is to really close your eyes and visualize yourself where you want to be. Just really walk through a day in the life or a week in the life of you with everything that you want, all the financial success, all whatever success that you want. What is life like? Really play it through. Who are you going to help? Who are the people that are going to call you, you know, for help or for things? Think about that. And start thinking about how you're going to carry yourself, how you're going to dress, how you're going to live, what you're going to buy, how you drive, and think all that through, and then start to really feel the feelings of that. So again, we have this feeling of guilt. And the guilt really doesn't make sense. But the guilt generally comes from you believing that there's like a nobility in being poor, or being broke, rather, because fear of success is very much a poor mindset. But you feel like you don't deserve it, or you feel like you're unworthy because society teaches you that you have to grind, you gotta hustle hard and work your fingers to the bone in order to have success. Yet, we see all the people, especially if you watch my first video, think about all those people that were there. Most of them didn't work hard. They just did something that they enjoyed. Now, we on the outside might be looking like, man, that's some hard work, but to them, it just felt like play. It might have been little things that they didn't really like doing, but overall, they loved what they did or continue to do, and the success has come from that. But there's a feeling of guilt there.
I've never craved money. I've never been proud of money per se. In fact, the first few years of getting a newfound wealth, I felt guilty about it, and I still feel a little bit guilty about it, because there was a nobility in poverty, really, and so I've always thought that if I'm going to be rich and famous, then I've got to be proud of how I made my money and how I got my fame. And making money, I've never understood it. Do you know, I've never understood it. I don't play those games. I don't try and make more money. I've never tried to make money. I don't know. There is something gauche about it.
Another feeling that you might get is just a feeling of wrongness. Like it just doesn't feel right. This one is a little more difficult to explain. And I'm trying to think, because I struggle with the fear of success. Not anymore, but I did. And I think the wrongness just came from me not having it before, you know, for so long. And then when it came, it was just kind of like an uncomfortable feeling. That's all I can really say. Like I couldn't enjoy it because I felt so uncomfortable, or I don't know, it just felt wrong. It's just that's the only way I could really explain that. And the last thing, number 3, is just straight up fear. Okay, just straight up fear. You just scared, right? You don't know what's going to happen after you take this baby step and have everything you want. You sign on this dotted line or whatever. You have no idea, and that freaks you out. Now, I do want to explain that phenomenon because that's something I can speak on very well. So that is your brain talking, okay? You've been moving basically on intuition and gut feelings and using your brain to logically act on those feelings that you've gotten up until this point. Now, you were excited getting here, but right when it came to sign, it was like, oh, no, I can't do this. And the reason that is because your brain is running the show now. Now, here's how the brain works. Our brain is there to protect us. Our brain does not like change because it doesn't know what's going to happen after the change. The brain likes predictable things. It's the brain that convinces you to stay at that job you don't like because, well, we're going to get paid on Friday. We know that if we leave, we don't know what's going to happen. How we're going to die. That's what the brain tells you. It tells you if it doesn't know what's going to happen after you do this thing, the brain's going to make you feel like you're going to die. Right, which is absurd, right? You're not going to die. Even if you did quit your job and it got that tight, just go get another one. Or leave. If you didn't leave on bad terms, you go back and be like, you know, hey, I think I made a mistake. Can I come back? If it was a good employee, they'll welcome you back. It's not a big deal. But your brain makes it a very big one. So you can't really listen to it. And that's what's happening here. It's like, if I sign on this dotted line, going to have all this money, and you've never had that before, and the brain doesn't know how to process that. It doesn't know what to do with it, so it just makes you scared so that you'll turn around and go back to the safe, poor, broke shack that you were in because it knows that. It knows how to handle it. I remember Oprah said this before. I don't remember who she was interviewing. I think it was Will Smith. And Will was talking about how he struggles with money even though he make $100 million a year and had been making $100 million a year and had been making $100 million a year. This dude still feel poor. Okay, that's a mindset. How does Negro, let me make $100 million once, dude. My grandkids, kids gonna be super set, okay, because I know what to do. But this dude got three kids, and a wife who rich on her own, and he make $100 million a year, and he don't know what to do. This is a long time ago, right? He was on Oprah, and Oprah was like, well, you know what? I've never had that problem. He was like, oh, well, Oprah, you doing a little more than me. You doing a little bit better. She's like, but no, I've never, even when I didn't have it, I was actually afraid of becoming a millionaire. I mean, I know what to do with $10,000, but what do you do with $1 million? I don't know. That was my fear. I was scared of the money.
It's interesting that no matter how successful you get, it's really difficult to shake your mindset. Mm-hmm. And I still have a poor person's mentality. I can't shake it, and it gets really detrimental when you can't just shake off the ideas. It's like when I go to sleep at night right now, mm-hmm. I'm as financially nervous as I was 20 years ago.
You are?
Absolutely.
Really?
You shook it? Well, you did it. You're doing a little more than us.
No, but I don't worry. I'm not nervous about it. I'm not nervous about it. But I do understand that whole thing about spending. Yeah. Because once you have a lot of money, I mean, who knows what $1 million can really do? Right. You know, I know what $29.99.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But what do you do? Yeah.
See, they had two of the same situations, but their fear came from different avenues. Will has all his money, but he's afraid of losing it. And Oprah don't care about losing it. She just was like, man, what do I do with it? I don't really want it because I don't know what to do with it. And that scared her. But she overcame the fear, figured it out, and she's a billionaire now, right? Will, I don't know what's going on with Will. I hope he figured it out, but he ain't broke, so probably so. But anyway, that's the fear that you're feeling. So I encourage you to visualize all of that. If you've been there, feel free to talk about it in the comments, man. A lot of times when you get it off of your chest, that's liberating, right? And ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? And keep asking, like, what am I afraid of? What's happening? What am I really fearing here? And you'll find out nothing, just the fact that we don't know what's going to happen. And really, you don't know what's going to happen 2 hours from now. You never really know what's going to happen. You're just used to this routine, and you tricked yourself into thinking you know the future, but you don't. So you might as well take the plunge, all right? Now, this video, I think, is good at stopping here, but I do want to give a personal example, and hopefully in this example, you'll be like, that's so crazy. What's going on? That don't even make no sense. But you remember you might be doing the same thing. So when you're looking at this person I'm about to tell you about, you ask yourself, man, am I doing the same? Am I as crazy as that person? So anyway, family member of mine is very, very broke. All right. I mean, super struggling, right? Struggling so bad that this family member sleeps in a chair and has been, okay, for like maybe 2 years now. Sleeps in a chair in the living room of one of her properties. Yes, I said that right. She sleeps in a chair in the living room of one of her properties. Now, she asked me to help her get her finances together. And when I looked at everything she has good passive income. However, it's just enough to pay for everything. Like, she doesn't have but a few $100s left each month. And I know a lot of y'all might be saying, well, that's good. Shoot, I'm kind of negative every month. But when you got 7 properties, one little thing happened at one of those properties, that eats up all that extra few $100s a month. Any little bill could go up, whatever. So I'm just like, I'm looking at it, it's kind of comical to me because I'm like, yo, you like dumb rich. Like, you a millionaire. Like, for real. Like, people say they're a millionaire, but it's tied up in, equity. And granted, yours is tied up in equity too, but these are easily just sell 2 properties. Sell 2 properties, and then you fix this other one up, and then that one will be worth over $1 million. You have like $1 million of equity in that, or 900,000. And I don't see no problems. Why are you sleeping in the chair? You rich. Makes no sense. But after I laid it all out, I'm like, look, yo, you could just do this. You put part of this money in stocks, some dividend stocks. These dividend stocks going to pay you at least $85,000 a year just on the dividend alone. We didn't even talk about appreciation from the stock itself. You're going to make 85 grand from just the dividends alone, and that money, and you still have the principal, and that money will be there forever. You can leave that behind, and then you don't have to deal with the maintenance of these 2 properties. Nobody even wants or lives in them. No one lives in them. They just sitting there, and you paying for them. It don't make no sense. And her dream car, she wanted a Bentley. I'm like, you can afford 13 of them. Like, I don't even understand what's going on. Anyway, after I laid everything out, whole business plan, look, you just do this, like, yo, everybody gonna be straight forever. And she just like, let me think about it. I'm like, think about it? What's the thing about it? There's nothing to think about. And I ain't getting into too many details, but I don't want to be putting all the business out there. But it's like, and here's the other thing that's sad. She have kids. And if she doesn't get her stuff together, her kids are going to lose everything. They'll have nothing. They'll be poor. They'll be broke. Poor is a mindset, but they'll be broke. And she still won't do anything. I wanted to read a quick excerpt from this book, Mind Traps. If you've never heard of it, I highly encourage you to pick it up. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. But if you read this book and do the things that it talks about in it, it'll totally change your life. So I'm going to read an excerpt called The Familiarity Principle. And here goes. It says, it is uncomfortable to act or be treated in unfamiliar ways. People cannot tolerate acting or being treated as if they were someone different than they are used to and therefore believe themselves to be. Anyone who begins to behave or be treated in unfamiliar ways will become increasingly uncomfortable. Though we consciously prefer comfort to discomfort, the familiarity principle has far more influence over our actions than the pleasure principle. When given a choice, we are likely to choose pleasure over pain unless we are unaccustomed to pleasure and accustomed to pain. Hence the reason why my family member sleeps in a chair. Now, here's the thing. I never said there wasn't a bedroom or a bed available. There's a whole master bedroom that's furnished. She just chooses not to sleep in it. The phrase comfort zone is sometimes used to describe habits, actions, and feelings which feel familiar. But comfort zone is a misnomer. We usually do what is familiar, not what is more comfortable or beneficial. If the people you know suddenly began treating you with greater respect, warmth, and consideration than you are accustomed to, you might be surprised at first and delighted, but before long your delight would fade and be replaced by awkwardness, discomfort, and disbelief. You might begin to wonder what in the world they were up to and who put them up to this charade. You would feel uncomfortable. You would be in crisis. The Chinese word for crisis is an apt combination of two characters, danger and opportunity. Unfortunately, when faced with the identity crisis essential to any significant personal change, many people are so intimidated by the danger that they miss the opportunity. And I'm going to stop there. But this is exactly what's happening with my family member, and it's dangerous because it affects her entire legacy. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful. This concludes this video on the fear of success. This book really actually encompasses the whole thing. This book, Mind Traps, I highly recommend anyone that is alive really to read this book, because you might be surprised at the baggage that you have, and this book has some practical solutions for overcoming those things. So with that said, I'm going to end the video now. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have, I'd love to hear what you think about the video, what you think about the concept of the fear of success in the comments below. And one more thing, if you could do me a favor, if anyone could tell me what a gauche means, I'd highly appreciate it. See you next time.